today's video, we're excited to share a unique and creative building project you'll definitely enjoy. As you'll see, bamboo is a highly adaptable natural material that can be used to make a wide variety of structures. Here, 𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐶 is using it to build a floating house set right in the middle of a peaceful lake in rural Vietnam. The process has been recorded step by step, showing how raw materials are turned into a complete and comfortable home. This takes place in a quiet mountain village where bamboo is plentiful and fishing is a daily way of life. The aim is to create an off-grid, flood-resistant home mainly from local resources, with a few modern improvements. Floating houses, called na bi in Vietnamese, are common in certain areas for fish farming and adapting to seasonal floods. They make full use of bamboo's impressive strength-to-weight ratio and its natural ability to stay afloat. Bamboo is the main building material here, acting as the structure's foundation and giving the home its unique look. It provides both strength and style, shaping the design while ensuring durability in water-based conditions. Thick, mature poles measuring about 3 to 4.5 centimeters in diameter are collected locally. These are chosen for their high tensile strength, light weight, and hollow cylindrical form. To make them last longer in the humid environment, the poles are treated by sun-drying or soaking in water. Palm leaves from nearby forests are used to form the first version of the roof. The leaves are tied into bundles and layered to create a dense, overlapping cover. This lightweight roof helps keep the structure buoyant while allowing airflow inside. The floating base is built from large bamboo poles tied together into a raft-like frame. The bamboo's natural buoyancy keeps the house afloat without extra flotation materials. Its hollow tubes trap air, making it resistant to sinking. The poles are tightly bound in a grid pattern to create a strong and stable platform. No barrels, drums, or other synthetic floats are added at this stage. This choice reflects the builder's understanding of bamboo's natural strength and reliability. The raft is kept wide and flat to improve stability on the lake. A larger surface area reduces rocking or tilting in the water. This is because it displaces more water, increasing stability and buoyancy. Once the raft is finished and confirmed to float properly, the builder starts assembling the main framework. Upright support posts are positioned into the notched sections of the base, then secured with horizontal crossbeams. Strengthening the framework at this stage provides key benefits for both structural stability and environmental adaptation. By putting the frame together first, the builder can adjust the raft's weight distribution and monitor its response to basic loads. Once its stability is proven, heavier additions such as safety railings, outer decking, and room dividers can be installed without risk. This step-by-step approach ensures that every new feature works in harmony with the raft's floating capacity. Delaying decorative and non-essential parts until the main frame is ready also leaves room for design adjustments. The builder can study how the structure reacts to natural forces like wind, water movement, and sun exposure. With this information, he can decide the best locations for openings, shading elements, and extra reinforcements. For example, the bamboo railing added later provides both a protective barrier and a base for climbing plants. Adding greenery such as bamboo planters and potted plants also helps the structure blend with its natural setting. These plants provide shade, cooling certain areas and making the deck more comfortable. They also improve airflow and create an evaporative cooling effect over the surface. Growing food or ornamental plants supports a semi-self-sufficient way of living, aligning with eco-friendly principles. A traditional oven is built directly on the bamboo platform using local stone, mud, and sand as the base materials. It is then covered with layers of compacted clay and soil to shield the bamboo floor from heat and flames. At this stage, the floating home becomes more than shelter. It's a hub for gathering food, cooking, and sustaining life on the water. Even so, much work remains ahead, as the project is still far from complete. The handmade furniture created for the floating bamboo house goes beyond function alone. It reflects and continues the natural style and materials used throughout the entire build. Made entirely from bamboo, each furniture piece blends seamlessly into the overall design. Giving the home a consistent and harmonious style. With the furniture complete, the builder moves on to creating a small bamboo boat for practical use. The process starts by carefully choosing strong, mature bamboo poles with thick walls. These poles are trimmed to matching lengths and tightly bound to create the boat's flat base, resembling a floating raft. To improve movement and steering, the bow is gently raised and curved for better performance in the water. A light framework made of bamboo or wood is then added on top, usually forming a simple rectangular shape. An important step in construction is sealing the sections so that air stays inside the bamboo's hollow tubes for buoyancy. Movement is powered and guided by long paddles or poles carved from locally sourced wood. Thanks to its shallow draft, the bamboo boat can travel over low waters and reach shorelines without getting stuck. This feature is especially useful in lakes where the bottom changes depth or shape throughout the seasons. During this time, the builder also works on the furniture, treating it to protect against heat and moisture damage. Soon after, the boat will be used to carry large bamboo poles for expanding the lower section of the floating home. The flat base gives the boat a steady weight distribution, lowering the risk of it tipping over. Once delivered, the poles are placed directly onto the house's floating platform, ready for installation. The wide layout of the raft adds to the sense of openness and connection with the surrounding nature. At this stage, the builder also constructs a bamboo water enclosure to serve as a fish pond or small bathing spot. The center is intentionally left open, while a solid ring of vertical bamboo stalks forms the outer wall. Throughout the build, he continues gathering food by setting traps and hunting for fresh supplies. Part of this includes designing a safe and comfortable nesting area for his chickens. Using thin bamboo rods, he builds 4 upright posts joined with cross beams for support. The walls are made from evenly spaced bamboo strips, allowing airflow while keeping the structure light. To make it sturdier, the whole frame is tied securely with rope so it can be moved and withstand outdoor conditions. As a finishing touch, he weaves a curved handle from natural fibers, giving it both decorative appeal and practical use. Finally, to ensure the hens have a protected place to lay eggs, he starts crafting a bamboo chicken trap. The inside is reinforced with cross supports and secured with strong green twine. Once the main framework is secure, he begins weaving fresh leaves, broad ferns, and native plants into the build. Returning to the floating house, one of the most notable features is a bamboo chicken coop built seamlessly into the raft itself. Constructed from bamboo of different thicknesses, each piece is carefully split, smoothed, and arranged to make the best use of space. Thicker poles form the supportive frame, while thinner, flattened strips are used for the slatted sections. Fastened with vines and natural cord, the structure avoids nails or screws, keeping the design fully organic. It's worth noting that this entire project holds both cultural significance and environmental value for the region. In Vietnam, as in much of Southeast Asia, bamboo construction and water-based living are long-standing traditions. Known as the poor man's timber, bamboo has been used for centuries to make everything from houses and furniture to fishing bridges. It is lightweight, durable, and grows rapidly, making it an ideal material for traditional builds. Here, the builder adapts those age-old practices to a more modern purpose. By choosing bamboo over costly, imported supplies, he worked entirely with renewable, locally sourced material. This approach kept expenses low enough that the house cost only a few $1,000s to complete, mainly for hardware and extra features. The building methods, thatching, weaving, and tying, are rooted in practices handed down over generations. Such techniques are still alive in rural communities across Vietnam. One of the major benefits is resilience to floods and changing climates. Vietnam's low-lying river deltas are among the areas most at risk from rising waters. Permanent houses on land often face destruction during the yearly floods, leaving families without shelter or belongings. A floating structure offers protection, simply rising with the water level rather than being overtaken by it. Although this particular home was built on a calm lake rather than as a flood barrier, the principle applies anywhere. Its design was partly inspired by the need for houses that can survive seasonal flooding. By staying afloat, the home shields its residents and their possessions from water damage. As floating home advocates say, when the waters rise, the house rises, keeping losses minimal. The builder also anchored the structure securely to prevent drifting during heavy storms. Anchoring is critical to ensure a floating home stays in place and does not become dangerous debris. With fish cages and a garden built in, the house could sustain its occupants for extended periods in an emergency. With vegetable and fish rafts connected, a family living on a floating home can survive for roughly a week without outside assistance during flooding. In addition, the house's strong environmental sustainability is another major benefit. Bamboo is highly eco-friendly, as it grows back quickly and absorbs large amounts of carbon. Choosing bamboo for building reduces reliance on concrete or steel, which have much greater carbon emissions. The floating home concept is also gentle on the surrounding area, avoiding land clearing or permanent groundwork. It quite literally has a light footprint, resting on water and capable of being moved if needed. If the house were ever relocated, it would leave minimal environmental impact compared to a traditional building. It's equally important to consider the cultural, social, and economic value of such projects. In the builders community, many locals are adopting similar ideas to improve their daily living conditions. In flood-prone regions like the Mekong Delta, floating homes are being enhanced with small-scale aquaculture setups. Some also feature hydroponic systems, enabling families to remain self-sufficient for about a week without outside supplies. These floating gardens and fish enclosures are clever platforms made from bamboo or aquatic plants, topped with natural soil. They are used for growing vegetables, while nearby fish pens create a balanced food source. In urgent flood situations, this arrangement provides vital independence. Families can pick fresh greens, such as spinach or gourds, while raising fish for protein, all in one space. Additionally, the builder makes traditional bamboo fish traps, skillfully tied with rattan or plant fiber. Once complete, these traps can be placed directly on the floating platform or raft. Rather than eating the fish right away, he transfers the catch into a specially made bamboo pond. But food security is not the only benefit of this approach. Each section of the home is built as a separate yet connectable unit. The modules use standardized bamboo poles, 3 to 6 meters long, 3 to 4.5 centimeters thick, tied with rope or simple fasteners. This modular setup makes it easy to expand, remove, or rearrange parts as needed. In this way, the concept is similar to MAST's land-on-water modular system. That type of system allows for flat pack units that can be expanded or altered over time. And since bamboo is both light and strong, with tensile strength on par with steel, the modules stay sturdy. On the other hand, modular design allows the structure to adapt naturally to shifting water levels. The floating base rests on buoyant poles or sealed drums, letting it rise and fall with floods or drainage cycles. Individual modules can be moved, rearranged, or swapped out without dismantling the whole home. This flexibility lets the owner reshape covered or open spaces as conditions change, much like amphibious architecture. Most importantly, its multifunctional layout means it can grow and adapt alongside the needs of its residents. The home was first built with 3 rooms on a 2-tier platform measuring around 6 by 6 meters. If the upper floor is taken away, the remaining area becomes a wide, open gathering space. In its smaller setup, it serves as a cozy living space, divided into areas for cooking, resting, and everyday tasks. Extra features include woven bamboo panels for airflow, taller roofs for shade, and adaptable door systems. For example, a dedicated cooking section adds greatly to this versatile layout. Placed along the edge of the main deck, this outdoor kitchen naturally vents out smoke and steam. Its closeness to the main deck makes it easy to move food and supplies without passing through the living quarters. Near the expanded deck, an additional oven works alongside the first to improve cooking options. Separating the kitchens helps keep the work areas organized and avoids overheating one spot. The ash and charcoal left over can even be reused to fertilize raft gardens or filter water. Equally impressive is how the home blends aquaponics directly into its design. The rafts are firmly anchored yet flexible, forming part of a constantly evolving network. This design makes it simple to navigate around the floating perimeter while tending to plants. To extend the usable space, extra bamboo lengths are tied along the edges for docking and movement. An especially clever touch is the use of traditional weaving to create upright basket-like containers. These are packed with soil and aquatic vegetation, serving two functions. They naturally filter the water and bring layered plant life to the aquaponic layout. This creative use of hand-woven pieces also ties in visually with the rest of the bamboo construction. Bamboo poles here serve more than just structural purposes. They act as pipes for water control, as safety rails, and as guards for the delicate roots of floating crops. Also, the builder puts the leftover bamboo to good use by crafting practical items, such as this sturdy kitchen cabinet. Next, he moves on to creating a floating fishing apparatus that will be fixed within one of the ponds. Its main feature is a pivoting arm system, allowing a submerged net to be lowered and raised through a lever action. At night, lamps are hung above the water, luring fish toward the trap and boosting catch efficiency. This approach works with the fish's natural habits, avoiding the need for chasing or baiting. When the fish congregate beneath the glow and inside the net, the lever is pulled to lift them swiftly from the pond. The design ensures each haul can be stored or moved into a nearby holding pond next to the house. This helps the builder keep a steady stock of fresh fish, reducing the need to rely on outside food sources. The mechanism is fastened to the deck's frame near the pond, supported by strong, upright bamboo poles. Lowering the net is done simply by pressing down on the shorter end of the lever. This in turn causes the longer arm to sink gently into the water. This method is essential as the builder operates without factory-made tools or purchased supplies. He instead fashions all necessities himself, relying on bamboo, clay, vines, and water as his primary resources. For carrying and travel, he even weaves his own backpacks from split bamboo strips. These hand-woven packs are also used to gather vegetables, catch fish, collect wild plants, and move building materials. worn comfortably on the back, they free up the hands and balance the load across the shoulders. Taken together, the entire effort feels like a guidebook to self-sufficient living. It blends ancestral techniques with functional ingenuity and a keen grasp of the local environment. This connection with nature is especially visible in his plant cultivation on the floating decks. The raft gardens are deliberately built to nurture an array of edible greens and herbs. Here, a traditional bamboo frame holds layers of coconut husk or other light soil alternatives. This setup lets plant roots absorb nutrients and moisture directly from the water below. Moreover, leftover pieces like coconut husks are repurposed into simple tools, such as a handmade drinking glass. Framed by the calm scenery of water and hills, the builder then begins shaping thick wooden planks. These will become the main structure for the hull of a small wooden boat. These planks are shaped and joined using only basic hand tools, with great care taken to form the boat's foundation. He aims to achieve a smooth, curved profile that offers both balance and swiftness when gliding through the water. To connect the base with the side walls, cross braces are cut to size and installed with exact precision. Their purpose is to strengthen the frame, preventing sideways movement and increasing the boat's overall stiffness. Each connection point is coated generously with waterproof glue, applied neatly from a repurposed plastic bottle. This adhesive seals every joint between the boards, keeping water from entering and ensuring the vessel stays afloat. For the bow and stern, solid wooden blocks are carved and sanded to align perfectly with the panel edges. The boat takes shape directly on the floating deck, built atop the same timber planks that make up the floor beneath. When the final nails are driven in and the build checked over, the boat is slid into the still water for its first trial. Alongside boat building, the builder must also stay aware of crop cycles and the role of each plant grown in this remote setting. Rice fields, arranged in neat raised beds upon the floating platform, demand attentive upkeep. Water levels in the beds must be monitored closely to prevent both flooding and nutrient washout. The planting and harvest must align with seasonal changes in temperature and rainfall patterns. After gathering, the rice is separated from the stalks using a simple wooden threshing board. This tool, fitted with teeth-like slots, strips grains free when the stalks are pulled across its surface. The collected grains are spread onto woven mats, left in the sunlight to dry completely. Following this, the rice is hulled using a lever-powered pounding tool constructed entirely from logs. The outer shell of each grain must be cracked and loosened without harming the rice inside. By pressing down on one end, the heavy pestle at the opposite end strikes the wooden mortar containing the grains. Repeated strikes gradually loosen the husks, exposing the edible rice beneath. This steady process eventually removes the chaff, leaving the white kernels ready for the next step. When enough has been processed, the rice is transferred into a smaller container for sorting. Inside the wooden bowl, a mix of cleaned rice and leftover husks can be seen. But before sorting, the builder weaves a shallow bamboo tray for the task. Its firm yet flexible weave makes it ideal for sifting away husks from the usable rice. The freshly pounded rice is transferred onto the tray and tossed lightly in steady, practiced movements. As the grains are lifted, the light husks and chaff drift away, while the denser rice kernels drop neatly back down. He repeats the motion over and over with steady hands until the tray holds only pure, edible white rice. His resourcefulness extends further when he turns to beekeeping. handling a recently gathered honeycomb. Its golden and deep amber shades reveal both its freshness and the richness of the honey and wax inside. Using nothing more than his hands and a few simple tools, he divides the comb into separate portions. The honey is strained for food, while the wax is saved for crafting traditional items and utilities. Once again, his approach ensures minimal disturbance, allowing the bee colonies to continue thriving naturally. Such self-reliance demands far more than a passing familiarity with nature's resources. It requires mastery over the processes of cultivation, gathering, and repurposing materials from the environment. The builder shows an unwavering connection to the ecosystem that sustains him. He grows crops, raises fish, keeps bees, and converts plants into practical items like baskets and strainers. Here, there is no hum of machines, no wires carrying electricity. Everything is achieved manually. With tools made or chosen to suit each specific need. Rather than a handicap, the absence of technology stands as proof of the value of patience and tradition. He demonstrates that off-grid living is not regression, but a deliberate move toward balance and sustainability.